Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. My name is Kassandra and I'm going to take you through this Vinyasa flow practice that really focuses on the side body. So both strengthening and stretching all along our sides. I find this can definitely be an area that we neglect in our practice overall. And this is actually a sequence I did on my channel a really long time ago, like probably 8 or 9 years ago, one of the first videos that I ever put together. And just because it's an older class, I thought it would be nice to revamp the sequence and produce it again for you guys today because it was a really good class, but it's a super old video, so it could definitely use an updating. So we are going to begin in a butterfly forward fold. I'm not using any props for this practice. I would say it's definitely more intermediate leveled. And you can either do like a regular butterfly with your heels pretty close in towards your seat, or you can do more of like a diamond pose where your knees are at about a 90-degree angle, so a little bit further out in front of you. This can be really nice to already work on the sides of the hips and folding forward any amount. So this will really be working through the sides of the waist, into the obliques, into our glutes, and also really the IT band. So all the way along the sides of the upper leg. So in this first pose, just breathe it in and out through your nose. And feel your breath travel all the way down to your lower belly and lower back. Just trying to create a little bit more space. Take one more inhale here. And you can push your hands into the ground to very slowly roll yourself back up. And we'll help our knees lift up, keeping the feet flat on the floor. We're going to move through variations of boat and low boat, adding a little bit of a twist. So starting from your regular Navasana boat pose, you're going to lean your hips and your legs over to the left as your arms go over to the right. And then go ahead and lower down. Come all the way back up and then twist over to the other side. Low boat, so you're hovering, lift, and turn. So twice more on each side. So I'm really transitioning the weight over onto just one hip. One more each side. Really engaging your obliques here right away. And all the way back through to center. Go ahead and grab a hold and see if you can come right away into chair pose from here. So if you need to, you might need to rock just to give yourself a little bit of momentum. And then planting the feet, go ahead and lift on up, Utkatasana chair pose. Let's bring our hands together at the front of the heart. And we're just going to twist over to the right, back through to center, and then over to the left. So I'm not hooking the elbows. We're still just warming up. So this is a small twist. Once more on each side, over to the left, back through to center, and mountain pose, release. Let's take our first flow just so we end up in downward dog. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. You can absolutely bend your knees here. Halfway lift, flat back. Plant your palms, step the feet back to plank pose, and you can lower to your belly. Find a little cobra, bhujangasana, roll your shoulders away from the ears, and downward facing dog. And create some space here. This is our first downward dog. So you can bend your knees, maybe paddle and alternate as you push one heel and then the other into the mat, spreading the fingertips wide. We're going to reach our right leg up towards the sky. You can bend your right knee and open up your hip, and then step that right foot to the center of your mat. Roll to the outer edges of both feet and extend right arm up overhead, bicep is along the ear. This is your modified side plank. You're welcome to stay where you are, or you can transition into full Vashisthasana, Right arm stretches up to the sky, right leg stacks over the left. Really focus on pushing into the floor to lift your hips up. And really focus on pushing your feet into the floor to lift your hips up nice and high. One more breath and take your flow. Hand comes down, lower to the floor. Bhujangasana again, downward dog, and we'll do the same thing to the other side. So from your down dog, left leg rises, bend your knee, open up your hip, and just step it right to the center of the mat, so not all the way. Roll to the outer edges of both feet, so your weight is now on your right hand, and you can bring that left bicep along the ear. And really emphasize this lifting of the hip so that you're getting a bit of a side body stretch. Maybe you choose to stay here, or you can extend that top arm and bring your left leg to stack over the right. Can you lift your hips up a little bit higher? And take your flow, plank, lower down, back bend of your choice, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Let's go ahead and stretch our right leg up to the sky. Keep it straight and squared this time so we're not bending and opening the knee. And we'll come into our high lunge, Ashta Chandrasana. So your feet are hip width distance apart. Push into the floor to come up. And we'll add a side bend from here. So grab a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. First, you lengthen up and then leaning over towards the right side of your mat. So keep anchoring down into that left hip. Inhale back through to center, easy twist, left hand down, right arm stays up. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Second side, left leg rises, keep it straight and squared. High lunge, step that left foot forward, come on up. Stay really grounded through your legs and through your feet. We're gonna grab a hold of our right wrist this time with the left hand. Stretch up first and then lean it over. So really big side body stretch. You might feel this on one side more than the other. Lifting back up, easy twist, right hand down, left arm stays where it is. Think of really stacking that left shoulder over the right one. Downward dog, either holding where you are, or if you'd like, you can add your flow, moving from plank pose. Inhale, chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Push back through your heels, lengthen out through your arms and through your chest. And adding on from here, reach your right leg up again. This time, if you'd like, you can definitely bend your knee and open up your hip. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. So right foot to the top of the mat and back foot spins parallel to the shorter edge of your mat as you lift on up. And right away, we add our side body stretch. Left hand down, right arm reaches up and back. Keep a generous bend into that front knee. Inhale, rise all the way back up, straighten your front leg, and you can narrow your stance a little bit here for triangle pose. We're gonna reach both arms up for this one, as if you're holding a big beach ball between your palms. On the exhale, you're just gonna tilt and hover wherever is comfortable, push into the floor, come all the way back up. Twice more like this. Exhale and inhale. Last one. Inhale, lift. Full triangle pose. So reach that bottom arm down. Maybe just pushing the back of your hand against the inside of your calf. Rolling your left shoulder back as if you were trying to get your chest to face up towards the sky. I'm going to bring my left hand to my left hip, looking down to the floor. We're coming into our half moon or perhaps sugar cane if you'd like to intensify. Right fingertips go out in front of you, and you're going to lift that left leg up. Really focus on rolling your left hip and your left shoulder back. Then maybe that left arm extends up to the sky. You can hold where you are, or you can come into sugar cane, grabbing a hold of that back foot and kind of kicking the foot into the hand as you arch back a little. So a real side bend activating pose. Keep your gaze down to the mat. We're coming into an IT band stretch. So I'm going to release the hold of my foot and I'm going to cross my left leg behind the right. Walk your fingertips and hands over towards the right side of your mat. Bend your right knee and push out into your left hip as you fold. So we're looking for a really big stretch along the outside of that left leg. No tension in your neck or in your jaw. Coming back through to center, step your left foot all the way to the back of the mat, and you can widen that right foot out. So you're coming into this lizard pose, maybe shift a little bit back and forth, melting your hips down. Back knee lowers. If you'd like, you can add your quad stretch. Right hand is going to extend to the back of the mat, pulling my left heel in towards me. Try to relax your hips a little bit more. Very carefully let go of that foot. Don't let it slingshot back to the mat. Take your vinyasa, or you can skip this and go right away to down dog. Otherwise, we find plank, then chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward dog. Stretching out long here. See if you can reach back through your heels. Lift your tailbone up towards the sky. Second side, your left leg rises. Bend your left knee. Open up your hip. So big side body stretch even in this pose. Warrior two. Left foot forward. Bring that back heel down. Push into the floor to rise up. Exalted warrior. Right hand down. Left arm reaches up and over. So I'm still really keeping my legs grounded. My left knee is pushing open. Coming back, Virabhadrasana 2. Go ahead and straighten your front leg, and you can narrow your stance a little bit here. Arms extend up overhead. Really feel this tension between your hands as if you were holding this imaginary beach ball. And then as you exhale, you're going to tilt forward. So my hips go back, my arms reach up, push into the floor, come all the way up. Really working your obliques with this one. Twice more. Exhale. And inhale. Last one. And full triangle pose this time. Drop that left arm down. Keep the right arm up. Roll your right shoulder back. Even rolling that right hip back. You can bring your right hand to your hip, look down to the floor to help with balance. We're coming into that half moon pose. So bend your left knee, bring that left hand out in front of you, and you're going to push off of that right leg to lift it up. As if you were leaning against an imaginary wall behind you, roll that right hip and right shoulder back. And maybe this is where you'd like to stay, or you can take sugar cane by adding your bind, reaching for that right foot, those toes. Trying to get that knee up as high as it'll go. We'll come to our IT band stretch. So look down at the mat, carefully release the hold of your foot. And this time my right foot crosses behind the left one. I'm kind of rolling to the outer edge of my right foot. I'm going to walk my hands, fingertips over to the left as I fold. So really stretching down the side of my right leg. And also trying to open up the side of the waist. We'll find our lizard pose from here. So back through to center, you're going to step that right foot to the back of the mat and just widen your stance so that you can have both palms and arms to the inside of that left leg. My left knee is directly over my ankle. Just take a moment to create some space here. And we can add our quad stretch first by dropping that right knee to the mat. Left arm circles to reach back, pulling in. See if you can melt your hips a little bit more. And we'll carefully release that hold. Step back, either down dog or to your flow. Inhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Stretch out really long here. Let's extend our right leg up towards the sky. Keep it straight and squared again this time. Roll that right hip down. And let's find our low lunge. So my right foot goes to the top of the mat. My back knee is going to come down. Lifting up, we're going to do a revolved low lunge. So keeping my hips underneath my shoulders, my arms up. Start with a twist first. So left arm forward, right arm back. Maybe you'd like to stay where you are. If you'd like to add on, your right hand can go to your thigh. And left arm stretches back. So really deep pose here. We'll come from here into our prayer twist, staying in this low lunge. This time you're going to hook that left elbow to the top of your right knee. Hands press together to lift your belly off of that front thigh and rotate a little bit deeper. One more deep breath. And looking down towards the floor, we're going to come into pigeon pose from here. So you can use your fingertips on the mat for support and maybe just toe heel your foot over to the side so that you can have your right knee behind your right wrist. Stretch that back leg out behind you and really try to evenly distribute your body weight here. Of course, you're welcome to do the traditional variation of pigeon pose, maybe staying up high or folding forward. Because this is a side bend class, I'm going to add a twist here. So I'm going to thread my left arm underneath me, lowering shoulder and ear to the ground. And maybe your right hand can reach back and see if you're able to hold onto that right foot somewhere. You really don't need to be doing this. So lots of options. One is not better than the other. They're just different ways that you can explore the pose. You want to be able to breathe slow and steady, not in any way that feels restricted or shallow. Three more breaths here. If you are in this twist, let go of the hold of your foot, ease your way back through to center. And we're going to come back into our downward dog, tucking the back toes under, and just do whatever feels good here with that right leg to release that pose. And we'll go do this on the second side. So this time left leg comes up, keep it straight so we're not bending at the knee or opening the hip. Into our low lunge. Left foot forward. Back knee comes down to the mat. I have my left knee directly over the top of my ankle. As I'm lifting up with my arms, I'm going to start just with a twist. Right arm forward, left arm back. Maybe stay here, or you can reverse and revolve. Left hand comes down, right arm stretches up. Big breath in here. Lifting up, you can hook your right elbow to the top of your left knee. Hands push together to help you really lift yourself away from the floor. And this traction also helps you to rotate your chest up, pulling that left shoulder back, keeping the hips down nice and low. Looking down to the floor, we'll find our pigeon pose here. So bring the fingertips down. You can just toe heel that left foot over to the side so that you bring your left knee behind your left wrist, extend that back leg. Find the alignment that feels best for you here. And maybe you choose to just fold forward. If you twisted on the first side, we're going to do that again on the second side. This time my right arm threads underneath me, big spinal rotation, and my left hand can reach to my low back or reach towards my heel. Try to melt into it a little more. 3 deep breaths here. If you had that deep twist, let go of your foot, face forward again. Move slowly and mindfully. We'll be coming into downward dog. This is your last opportunity to take a vinyasa. Also our final downward dog. So make any little movements here that feel good. You're welcome to skip this last flow if you'd like. Stretching out. And let's bring our knees down to the mat. We're going to open our legs into a straddle fold. And still really working on the side body from here. Let's find a side bend. So you can start by reaching your right arm up and then extend all the way over to the side. And really think of rolling that right shoulder back. So rather than focusing on like grabbing the toes and turning under, I want you to stay lifted and almost leaning back. And you can relax your neck and relax your head. Push down to lift up. Same thing to the other side. Left arm reaches up and over. So again, not reaching for my toes. My upper body is behind my legs. Rising up. Keep your legs as they are, face over towards that left knee and fold. Walking the hands in to the other side, folding over towards your right leg and right knee. Try to stay grounded in that left sit bone. Coming all the way up. You might want to use your hands to help the knees bend, lower all the way down to your belly. And you can pull your knees in towards your chest, giving them a big squeeze, maybe rocking a little bit side to side. You're welcome to take happy baby instead, Ananda Balasana, stacking the heels over the knees, using your elbows to push those knees wider. But the main focus here is on just rocking side to side, massaging the low back, keeping the entire length of the spine supported on the floor so we're not lifting head and shoulders up. We're not lifting our tailbone off the mat. And one last little pose here before Shavasana. Bring your feet flat to the floor, mat width distance apart, so wider than your hips. And we're going to drop both knees. So flex the feet and then drop both knees and thighs over towards the left. Maybe you want to stay here, or if it feels okay, you can hook your left ankle over the top of that right knee. And I like to also reach my right arm up to really stretch along that side body. If for any reason this hurts your knees, do another reclined twist instead. Let's release this twist, lift the legs back up. We'll go to the other side. So this time, knees and thighs drop over to the right. With these 90-degree angles through your knees, you can wrap your right ankle over the top of your left knee and maybe extend your left arm up overhead. Two more deep belly breaths. And we'll be coming into Shavasana from here. So you can readjust yourself so you're centered on the mat, aligning your hips with your shoulders. And you can open up your arms and let your feet kind of flop over to the sides. This was a pretty powerful practice, so we want to give ourselves full permission to really slow down, to utilize this period of rest and restoration. This gives us the opportunity to pause and reflect, to check in with our bodies and notice what feels different, what has changed. So just let yourself settle here for a few minutes, and then we'll close our practice together. Deepen your breath. And let this reinvigorate your body and invite gentle movement, maybe turning your head side to side. And now really extend and stretch your arms up, fingertips moving away from the toes. Lots of length through the side body. And we'll turn to one side so we can come up to take a seat. Sitting up tall, however is comfortable to you here. Roll your shoulders away from your ears. Let's bring our hands together at the front of the heart and really give yourself just a kind word. Show yourself some kindness and some gratitude for carving out this time for yourself and making it to the end of this class. And we'll close by chanting Om. Inhale to chant, breathe in deeply. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing this side body flow. I would love to know what you thought of this sequence. Again, this is one that I released on my channel many, many years ago when I first started my YouTube channel. So I was eager to revamp it and share it once more with you guys. Please subscribe if you don't already, and hopefully we will be practicing again together very soon.